is 10 a.m. East African time, and we meet Joseph Munyao, a retired teacher, attending to some mango trees in his farm located in Makueni County, one of Kenya's 47 devolved units. Working against the odds of an arid land and a changing climate, this mango farm has been his only source of income since his retirement 15 years ago.
Nilianza huu ukulima ili niwe na kazi ya kufanya na niwe ninapata pesa za kunisaidia na pia kupata mahitaji yangu ya kila siku kama vyakula, nguo, maji. Maembe yakiwa yako tayari mwezi wa Disemba na January na April, inakuwa shida kuyauza kwa sababu yanakuwa mengi. Mengine tunajaribu, wanunuzi wanakuja, tunaweka mkataba nao, contract farming, lakini hawaheshimu huo mkataba. Wanakuja na wanateremsha bei ile tulikubaliana nao, na inakuwa shida. Maembe mengine yanaharibika kwenye mashamba, almost 10% loss.
Joseph represents 80% of Kenya's small-scale producers in the horticulture that supplies fresh produce for export and for the domestic market. According to Makueni County Chief Officer for Agriculture, Mary Muteti, the mango value chain in the county generates over $28 million, approximately 3 billion Kenya shillings per year.
Makueni County is a large producer of mangoes, and we are talking of even producing of over 180,000 metric tons per year of mangoes. And I would wish to say there is a lot of opportunities for this value chain in Makueni, one of the opportunities being value addition.
However, the presence of certain pests such as the fruit fly is negatively affecting farmers at the production level.
One of the challenges at the farm level is high incidences of pests and diseases. And here we are talking of one pest which has meant farmers not to meet the EU market. That is the fruit fly. It is a real menace.
The value of mango which is produced in Kenya is to the tune of 11 billion Kenya shillings annually. And the main challenge, which is the fruit fly, is contributing to a big loss, which is up to 3.6 billion shillings. So that's a real big loss caused by only one pest.
The horticulture subsector generates 36% of Kenya's annual agricultural revenue and is a leading contributor to employment, food security and improved nutrition. It has grown to be the second highest earner of foreign exchange in the agricultural sector after tea. Peter Biwott, a Kenyan government official in charge of the Export and Branding Agency in Nairobi, tells us more.
In the horticulture sector, specifically areas of vegetable, fruits, flowers, the country has done very well. Horticulture is number 2 foreign exchange earner to Kenya. And it's a very lucrative sector. We've done very well. We've done our promotional activities in the region. We've done our promotional activities in Europe. We see a lot of Kenyan horticulture products, vegetables, fruits, flowers going to European market, the US market and China.
Statistics indicate that despite Kenya enjoying a big market share in the export market in Europe, Asia, United Arab Emirates and America, the country only exports around 5% of its total horticultural production. Hosea Machuki, a representative of growers, exporters and service providers in Kenya, explains why.
We have new regulations coming up from Europe with respect to pesticides, with respect to quarantine pests, and also we have issues to do with tariffs that importing countries put on our products, and we also have non-tariff barriers from a number of countries, and we continue to encourage our government to ensure that they do the negotiations necessary to ensure that we have a good market access program. We want to promote our products in the market. We want to maintain our presence. We want to increase our market share. And we also want to see that a number of Kenyan growers benefit from the increased market that as a country we are looking forward to.
The Kenyan horticulture produce has a tremendous potential with the emergence of new markets such as China.
The latest exploit in terms of export of fruits and vegetables or horticulture products is to China, where the first consignment of dried avocado arrived this month in Guangzhou in China. So that shows the efforts which have been put in place by the private sector and government to realize increased exportation of our products so that Kenya can fetch the most foreign exchange going forward. We are looking at the African continent as another frontier, especially with the coming in of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, so that most Kenyan products can actually be sold within the continent as a first step, even as we increase exports to the rest of the world. We are looking at AGOA, African Growth and Opportunity Act market. There is already a strategy where we want to increase our exports to America or the US by about 10%.
In order to help smallholder farmers like Joseph Munyao to access new markets, reduce post-harvest losses, meet the required food safety standards, and make profit out of their mango business, county governments such as Makueni have encouraged smallholder farmers to form cooperative societies in order to increase their market bargaining power. Phyllis Nduva, the chairlady to one of the mango cooperatives in Makueni, gives us more insight.
The main reason for us to start the cooperative was to see whether we can do away with those brokers who has been exploiting farmers.
Through the formation of the cooperatives, the county government has been able to support the farmers to source for markets outside the county and even outside the country. And currently we are seeing more offtake of mangoes from the county in a more organized way than we used to have before. And also the waste, because of the production season is very short, has tremendously reduced.
With lack of proper infrastructure, limited technology, inadequate finance and many other challenges facing Kenya's domestic market for fruits and vegetables and herbs, Twiga Foods Limited has emerged as one of the well-organized enterprises based in Nairobi in terms of distribution. Inside their pack house, we meet Judy Sylvia, busy supervising the sorting, weighing and packaging of freshly delivered banana fruits from their delivery trucks. They specialize in buying the produce locally and they sell to the available local markets.
We have guys from the sourcing, we have a logistics team, we have guys at the pack house and we have guys at the sales. So all of these we work together to ensure that the distribution chain runs smoothly. The logistics guys, they avail vehicles to the sourcing team on time so that the produce is delivered still fresh and of right quality at our pack house. And at our pack house, we ensure that we process and we receive only good quality products. At the end of the day, during the dispatch, we have logistics guys at night. They provide us with the sales trucks at night. We have enough trucks to supply to all our sales routes and our depots. And we ensure this by dispatch team, they ensure that they close this by 5 a.m. so that by the time it gets to around 7 a.m., already our customers have their produce at their doorstep.
But the question is, are fresh produce exporters getting the right quantity and quality they require from producers for their markets? Leah Sonkoi tells us more.
We are getting the quantities, the quality, however, is not quite there yet. Like, for example, I'll speak about fresh herbs because that's the market that we are in. At the moment, we don't have a list of allowed pesticides for the country. And this is something that, you cannot say that, I don't have a list because the other people assume that that's something that each country has already done. So we need the involved government agencies to be able to provide us with guidelines according to what the market requires, but also have extension services.
To compete in any market, First, you need the export volumes, the volumes themselves. If you don't have the volumes, then you won't be able to be competitive in any market. In that case, therefore, markup assists in building capacities along the supply side. That producers, whether they are smallholder producers or large-scale farmers, produce products which are of enough volumes, but also that are of high quality and safe in a manner that then can be consolidated and packaged for the purpose of market access and also for domestic consumption.
Non-governmental organizations in different value chains and markets play a key role of enabling access to markets through lobbying and advocacy. Yesi May from Call SCP explains what they are doing to inform governments and other agencies on how they can perform their mandate better in order to access new markets.
We have been providing a lot of training and capacity building through the company extension staff for them to train spray teams, outgrowers on good agricultural practices with regard to crop protection. By doing that, we make sure that the MRL requirements of the EU market are respected. On the business side of the companies, of course, for a company to survive, it needs to be competitive. So we will assist companies to work on a viable business plan for them to have access to new funding, because access to finance is a key constraint for private sector companies all over Africa, but also in Kenya.
The KCDMS activity is working with the financial service providers to help them largely package their products to meet the demands of these different segments. We are working with banks, we are working with microfinance institutions, we are working with SACCOs to be able to get to understand the demands of the farmer, get to understand the demands of small order cottage processors, get to understand the demands of the lead farms involved in export of these products, and be able to sustainably work together, build a relationship that will help them continually invest in their agricultural systems, and be able to not only be in a position to get into debt financing, but also be able to sustainably finance the debt, and with time become part of the members to this service, to this financial service.
A lot of the attention before has been on chemicals or pesticides. That's an easy target. But we realize through research, and we work with partners such as the International Food Policy Research Institute, and look at evidence that actually shows increasingly the contamination and the issues that are affecting fresh produce have to do with microbial contamination, which is a hygiene issue. So we need to bring that awareness to producers. We need to bring it to even the brokers. Everyone who handles fruits and vegetables, from the time it leaves the farm to the time it gets to the market, needs to be brought on board, made aware of what the issues are, so that they change their behavior, and we see investment coming in from the government and from private sector. Otherwise, we'll be talking of market access, and we'll be, negotiating deals. But when our products get into this market, so farmers manage to strike deals with some of the bigger fresh produce chains, it doesn't move forward. And that's the thing, that advocacy is very important in order to address that particular challenge.
With the recent establishment of local standards such as the KS 1758, specifically Part 2 for fruits and vegetables, and the National Horticulture Traceability System, or NHTS, coupled with increased surveillance and awareness driving consumer demand, Kenya's fruits, vegetables and herbs subsector looks promising.
When you look at the horticulture sector, it's a sector that has a lot of opportunities. Regardless of the number of challenges that we face, there are a number of opportunities, especially for new products that we want to push into the market. We want to work hard to ensure that we start to export mangoes to the EU. We did a self-ban as a country, and we are at the point where we are saying it's probably time that we need to pursue that, ensure that we do what we must do. If it means having pest-free production areas or low pest preference areas, or indeed having a water treatment system for mangoes, so that the farmers who grow mangoes are able to export.
And the county government is partnering with other actors who are working in this county to come up with what we are calling the pest-free zones, and also the issues of hot water treatment, the issues of raising certified nurseries, so that we can even have the issue of traceability, so that the farmers can be able to open up the market for the EU.
Our brand and our reputation depends on such simple things as how safe is Kenyan product, whether it is consumed locally or elsewhere. So if you pay attention to those things and improve on them, then of course the future is bright for the subsector.